Huh. That was weird. It was like echoing. Welcome to Critical ReRoll, the podcast where we just can't get it right.
Never.
We're live. Oh no.
Yeah. It was like a real cool effect, though. Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm here for emotional support today.
Hi, I'm Jess, and I'm shocked I managed to avoid spoilers this week.
And I am Cate, and I am sad.
So this week there was an episode of Critical Role, and yeah, you're right, I'm emotional support. That is how in tatters the community is after what happened. Can you believe it? Let's just say we had our first PC death.
Like, oh my god, I can't believe you said it right off the top!
I had... spoiler alert, I guess.
If you're listening to this and haven't watched the episode, why?
Yeah, I know.
It was just Frumpkin.
It was Water Cooler the horse.
What? It was!
It was!
Oh no!
Just gotta rip it off. It happened. You can't deny it. But we're gonna talk about it. But we have other things that we're also gonna talk about. For instance... I kind of went scouring, not scouring, I could have looked harder, I guess. But I have some viewer questions that I found on Twitter, and we're going to start setting up forums before episodes to like get input from people on like what they want to hear us discuss. So I'm going to talk about those. I also want to like look into their awesome planning session, because this is probably the best one to date that they've ever had. And also, obviously, Molly's death and what's next. What did you guys have?
I want to talk about Keg and why she wanted them all dead, and yet there seemed to be something there between her and that barbarian. But the rotating camera, I was like, wait, what's happening? Oh my god, we're seeing the whole map! Oh my god, we're moving around the map! This is so cool! And maybe any other cool tech stuff we might be getting in the future, fingers crossed. And then Neela... when we got to see the Furbolgs, we talked to Neela, the mother who went off after her child. Are we going to get to see that person next week? Is that possibly our other guest? I don't know. Let's find out.
And piggybacking off of Jess a little bit, I want to talk about how the studio is cursed. And also, our new big bad, Lorenzo.
Yeah, who is he? So yeah, this episode, they have just woken up, and it takes them a surprising amount of time to, like, in D&D fiction, figure out that their friends were kidnapped. Like, they're just like, they're
not...
That
was a bad roll.
They rolled
bad
some
rolls.
bad rolls! They were like, we're gonna not even know
We're not even gonna know.
First, that one.
And it kind of just like shows how the immediate schism is there of like the detectives are split, so they're not as good. But yeah, so the party wakes up and they start kind of traversing along the path, and almost immediately we're introduced to our guest character, Ashly Burch, playing Keg, a badass lady dwarf fighter champion. So what did you want to talk about, Keg, Jess?
It was cool, like, firstly, I love Ashly Burch. I was wondering whether she was going to bring back one of her one-shot characters. I know we discussed this a bunch, I think, in amongst ourselves. I'm not even sure how much on the show or not, but I know, like, basically the community, we discussed this a whole bunch, and I was like, oh man, are we going to get Clothesline back, which was her Tabaxi, or are we gonna get one of the other ones? But no, we got Keg, and I immediately in love with Keg, with the 5 o'clock shadow and the cigarette and this just like badass dwarf. I swooned immediately. And I love Ashly Burch. I was so excited to see her play this badass character. But then, you know, as they are getting information from her, as she's having this weird morning of meeting these people who are like kind of coming at her, but kind of being polite, and it was really confusing.
Yes, also don't smoke, kids.
Smoking is bad.
Yeah, that's true. The cigarette lost me. Yeah, fair enough. I get it, guys. But just that she was very, like, okay, I know you guys are just in this to save your friends, but I want them all dead. She was very specific, like, off the beginning. She's like, these are bad people. I want them all dead. And as stuff came out, it was a little bit like, oh, but maybe not the barbarian, maybe maybe all of them but the barbarian. Like, it was like, what was going on there? What is her reason for this? You know what I mean? I'm just curious about the whole
thing. And the meeting initially at the beginning of them, like, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? Why are you coming out of the woods with
I love
swords?
Low charisma characters.
Just yelling at each other.
Like, no. Her and Bo, comedy gold. Comedy gold.
Like, I'm also working on this politeness thing. Like, I love that. Like, right. Caleb was in the shadows shouting, "Just try like some chit chat or something."
Good old
like
Bushman.
Like, oh, hi. How are you?
Yeah.
For Bushman?
Who knows? But yeah, no, it was interesting. Like, why did she want all of them dead? We eventually learn that one of her friends was kidnapped. She has,
but we don't. Yeah,
we don't know how true that is.
The story we got at the beginning was different than when she was. What was it? She wasn't charmed. She was suggested.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, to like reveal information. So, and even then, she was testing the bounds of how much she had to give. It was like, what is tactically useful to us? And that's when she gave names and roles.
Already nerd. Right? That is one of my favorite things, that she did have faulty information throughout this whole thing. So she tells them, well, she tells Not in like a night of, I guess, bonding weird bonding. They like, so why are you wanting to fight them? She's like, that's a loaded question. Let's start with easier things. And then they start drinking, and she's like, it was my friend. She was kidnapped and taken into slavery. And then I'm a pretty good dancer.
But later she admitted, under a truthful circumstance, that she was only a moderately good dancer.
The truth comes out.
I don't know how to spell words.
But yeah, so we don't know if she actually had a friend who was kidnapped or not, enslaved by them.
But she does have
insight checker.
Right, they're so bad. They're like super into like insight checking within the party, but then you meet someone, you're like, no, we'll take it at face value. You've got an awesome beard, ma'am.
There was some really good bonding there. There was really good bonding, like immediately off the bat. Molly and Keg like shared a cigarette, and then we had like Bo. What?
That part was one of my favorites at the beginning, because like you're trying to quickly build, and it's like an in-game and out-of-game thing, like build a connection with the character so it makes sense to travel with them. And so they're like, what sort of, if we do this for you, what do we get in return? Or like, what assurances?
Here's 20 gold.
Yeah, he's like, here's 20 gold. Can I have, a drag from your cigarette? And then she's like, well, what can I get from you guys? And Molly's like, well, you can hire us for 20 gold. And she's like, you just gave me 20 gold. And like, that's how I know you can afford us. Like, damn it. Taliesin, how did you...
so good! Oh my god.
Like, they got a new set. They got a new writing staff, apparently.
Yeah, but like they all had like a little thing, like, and the Keg and Bo had the the both learning manners, and then like Rowan pointed out that Not and Keg had their drinking together, and was all like, Keg is all like, oh, my flask is out. It's like, oh, Not's like, oh, that happens.
Yours runs out.
Run out of alcohol, do you? Like,
she was like made for the Mighty Nine. It's perfect.
Yes,
I love that.
But she does have a lot of information. So like we know, we already knew Lorenzo's name, but now we know that the organization is the Iron Shepherds, which is like gritty as fuck.
I love that name.
Right?
I loved that name.
And like it's so cool because his glaive is kind of hooked, almost like a shepherd's crook.
Yep.
Like the way he walks with it and stuff. It's
and
like literally like a good.
And he's got like basically BDSM gear. It sounded like.
Yeah.
He's got like leather straps and hooks.
Like leather straps, so when you coat him in oil, it makes oddly sexy.
Makes it more erotic. Yeah. She like. I don't know if Ashly like just kind of got that information real quick, but she didn't really, or know how in game to put it. But she's like telling him that there are some sorcerers and rogues, within the team, and then they kind of decide to stay with each other and travel. And I'm like, okay, let's cut them off. What was? But yeah, no, as far as back to the, I guess, original question, why did she want them all dead, do you think? Because we know...
Something went down. Something went down.
Like, do they have dirt on her? Because we do find out that she used to work for them, thanks to the suggestion spell. But like, why does she just immediately want? Why is she jumping straight to that? Like, I don't want my friend back, even if it was a lie that they're enslaved. They still work for them, but I want them all dead, including the friend.
Well, was it a turn of conscience? Was it like she thinks she can like get these people to help her knock everyone else down and then take her friend out? Is she willing to, like you said, sacrifice her friend at the cost of getting rid of all these people because it's worth it? What did she see? Like, what one? If she was working for them, if she was a slaver, what thing did she see that changed this? Because like,
well, and like, did she have a separate friend? Because all she said was that the barbarian girl wasn't as bad as the rest, so maybe she had a separate friend that was.
She also was very sketchy about saying that about the barbarian. Like, that was right before that point was where she was like, how much do I have to say? Like, that's when she started checking in, when it was the reveal about, oh, there's this human barbarian named Juan, and she's not as bad as the rest of them. You know, so...
But still, at no point was she
like... There's something going on there.
At no point was she like, spare that one.
Right. So
it's
what
just,
takes
it's
someone
bizarre.
who grew up...
And even then...
What took someone who grew up in Shady Creek Run, which is apparently this... wretched hide of all kinds of villainy.
Where the pastime is stabbing people.
Yeah.
And there's no
what's
schools?
their breaking point? Where they go, oh, no, these people need to die.
Right.
Nope, these are bad people.
And especially because through this whole thing, we're like, oh man, she's like a badass dwarf. We get into combat, and she's freaked the fuck out. She's like, I don't know what to do. I'm freaked out.
What did she see Lorenzo do? It's something with Lorenzo in particular.
When she had already said that he makes a point of making an example of people beforehand, like when she was giving all this stuff and like describing his.
So, is it a turn of conscience, or like she's like, no, this is bad. I really need to start doing good, or is it's self-preservation and she just wants them gone and because she's terrified?
I honestly don't know. We're not gonna find out. So if anybody in chat has an idea, I'm gonna kind of look through real quick.
What are the character motivations?
One thing I will say, let's please not call him Leather Daddy Lorenzo.
No, it's so good. It's so good.
Keep your stuff for Molly, and what if Molly doesn't come back, what you think or want the new character to be if he makes one.
We will get to that.
We will get to that.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling back up.
That's
and the truth is, hey, Rowan, don't do this to me.
Well, like Rowan pointed out, could be like a matter of like Caleb, where Caleb was following rules for so long until something personal happened and he snapped.
Right.
That's true.
It could be.
Is this such like the gray area group? Like, they're not good, but they're not bad, but something has happened to them to where they're like tipping the scales to less bad.
Were evil and now they're not.
But the next thing
Matt, I just have to. I love that you were like, no, not Leather Daddy Lorenzo, and the chat just took it and ran with it. You're screwed. You made it worse.
I did.
Hashtag Leather Daddy Lorenzo is out there now.
Okay, I guess I'll join that team then.
Yep. It's a thing.
So the start.
It's now going to be your icon.
I've already got fan art being made.
We got the family that was in Shady Creek Run, the Mardoon family, I think it was.
The Mardoon.
Yeah, that's
who the Iron Shepherds, whoever their employers are at odds with the Mardoon family.
So this could be what the gentleman has sent them up for, because that could be the predicament that she's in, because that's all the information that he had. We get to see a little bit of combat as they fight a couple of on-keg. Nobody gets really damaged there. They lose some horses. R.I.P. Water Closet.
Yeah, Water Closet. Why?
I always get super sad when the animals die.
Me too. It's the
worst. Especially that
like Lord of the Rings and then the horse goes flying. You're like, no.
And like one of them,
people are being slaughtered left and right, but you're like, the horse.
And one wasn't even dead before Not started carving out its
tongue.
That was a little much. Sad. A little bit much.
I like tongue.
Illiteracy.
I thought you were hitting on me.
I'm trying to. There's so much talking going on tonight? I can't read.
I know.
Keep going.
I know.
I'm looking at
this. No. I just wanted to say that, like, because we were talking about the family and we were talking about Shady Creek Run a bit. We did get the group did ask about Novgorod. They were like, you know what I mean? Is this the group taking kids from there? And Keg was like, maybe a lot of people do this sort of thing. And I was like, wait, what?
Yes.
It's not just,
so that's another interesting.
Just one group taking shelter. There's like different groupings.
And that's another interesting thing is that like they openly operate in Shady Creek Run. Like they know that these people are in the slave trade.
Yeah.
And like, I think it's during combat or maybe before combat where she's like, hey, do I know of anybody in Shady Creek Run that if we get there, they will help us? And Matt's like, yeah, but there's also people that will help them. Because, like, this little area, I think it sits, like, just outside of the Empire's rule, so they, you know, can do whatever the hell they want. I could be wrong. Somebody correct me on that if I am. But speaking of Nugvarot, however we're supposed to say that, I don't know after seeing how it's spelled.
Yeah.
Nosferatus. So it's the kids were being snatched in the night, and somebody had updated the wiki. If we want to go ahead and talk about this, do we want to talk about this yet?
What?
About who? What about our Lorenzo theories?
Let's
real quick. Let's talk about the awesome new camera stuff that they have real quick.
So let's talk about the story. Wait, let's go back to the studio.
Well, because we don't get it until the combat. I'm looking through our list of things, and we're like, I don't know.
It's okay. Guys, the rotating camera. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, I didn't catch it the first time, and then someone in my chat was all like, hey, rotating. And I looked, and I was like, whoa, this is amazing. Like, because I think the layout they have is really good. They were doing a lot of switch ups, but it was very fluid. We had that nice big view of the map, and it rotated around so we could see all this sort of stuff. And I just can't help but think that this is the first time they're in the studio. I can't help but hope they're gonna break out more awesome stuff. Like, I don't know what. I don't know.
Well, the lighting was really cool when they did the battle lighting. It changed. So it's not only the music that we're getting now, we're getting these really cool lighting effects to bring on the mood. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're muted.
Oh no! How did that happen? What?
How did that happen?
Okay. Well, for those that didn't hear that, it'll be on the podcast recorded version, maybe. No, it won't. What I was saying, my apologies, is that I was kind of on the fence with there being a dedicated camera on the map when it was at the Geek and Sundry studio, because it was just a static map, and it's kind of uninteresting just to look at minis. I miss the scrolling stats that would kind of go through. But then when they added just a little bit of movement with the rotating camera, I want to see how it's rigged, first of all. It seems really cool. But like it added a cinematic feel, and you can kind of like, as they're describing it, look at the map, and because there's that little bit of motion, you can like play through the combat in your head. So that was cool.
You want to know my favorite feature?
Yes, let's hear
that
it.
it's haunted or cursed. What did they do? They moved into a Hellmouth. I don't know. Like,
oh my god, Buffy became real. They're on a Hellmouth.
Those rolls were so bad at the beginning.
They were really bad. That's
so
true.
bad.
I feel like if Laura was there, she would have been picking up on this from the beginning, and then like how you're all like, it's cursed. This only happened because it's cursed. I feel like this is Laura Boat right now. This is like 100% Laura Boat.
She's not gonna step foot in that studio. Together.
Yeah.
They sold character souls for an impressive camera work. Yes, David.
Yeah.
Exactly. Part of me just wants to run there and like smudge the entire place. Like, I just need to do something. I'm so scared.
You're gonna burn some incense and like.
It's the theater kid in me. I'm sorry. I'm like, who said the name of the play?
Oh God, who did it?
Oh, Christ.
Salt the sage. Salt and
Yes.
sage.
Well, I think there's enough salt. I think there's enough salt. I think we just need the sage.
Just need the sage.
Oh my God.
So yeah, they've got a new studio. I'm excited to see what more changes they'll get. Like they've got a dressing room apparently with those sinks that you can stick your head in. That Sam's real excited about.
The barber.
Yeah.
They're my favorite part of going to get my hair done. I'm not gonna lie.
Nice.
That's awesome. I didn't know they had that.
Whenever anyone asks, like, "Oh, if you won the lottery, what would you do?" I was like, I would have someone wash my hair for me. Like that would be my luxury because I love just those things.
Nice.
Anyway,
so after combat, they kind of go away from there and they find somewhere to sleep. And then they're
they had
awoken.
a long journey.
They did. They traveled.
Really long journey.
But then I'm just gonna jump ahead and we'll jump right back. Then I was impressed when they caught up. Like I was like,
Yes.
oh shit! They're like, bam!
Yeah.
Like okay.
Well, yeah, because they had to like ditch the wagon, right?
They did.
Yeah,
they
they
ditched
did
the
ditch the
wagon,
wagon.
extra horse.
Well, because originally they had an extra horse and they
Mhm.
like had all this stuff on it. Like it
They
was
had they had two horses to pull the cart.
yeah, and they
The
ditched.
other horses were for riding.
Yep.
So they ditched the one horse and they ditched the cart in order to gain speed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if Matt
They dropped the
was
loaf.
banking on. They did drop the loaf. I don't know if Matt was counting on them doing that. Like, I wonder how much of this was, will they catch up to them?
Yeah. Here's what will happen. Well, I mean, Matt's prepared for everything. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I'm sure Matt had a plan if they
Did or
kept the
didn't.
car, if they had gone straight after them, if they had.
And he had
they were
planned
the-
on if they had made it to where they were going to introduce Sumali's character because she was in the studio. So they,
Oh, really?
Oh.
yeah, like she was
I
there,
didn't
she
know
was ready
that.
to go. I don't know, it's fun, and like yeah, the on cake fight, that was fun because it was like the only thing about the on cake fight that I wish had happened is that we learned what Knott's new crossbow does,
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
but
That's true.
we
that's
still
true.
don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, they probably did wish they had that extra horse after that fight though.
Yep.
They dropped Loaf off. Yep.
Yep.
Poor loaf.
Yep.
Let's see. Next thing. What kind of?
The furbolgs.
Furbolgs!
Yeah. So they go camp. They're woken in the middle of the night by light, or somebody notices light off in the distance.
Molly noticed the light, yeah.
And they.
Was it Molly? I thought
No,
it was
it
Molly.
was Caleb.
Was it Bo?
Wasn't it?
Caleb?
Oh, yeah, no,
I
it
mean,
was-
you might be right. It might be Molly. Molly wakes everyone at. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Molly.
he, like,
Molly's.
Oh my god, he specifically said he woke everyone at once. He had like one hand in his tail.
The tail.
He's like, hey, let's wake
Skapoosh,
everyone up.
skapoosh.
And the three of them at the same time were like, oh, I'm awake. He's like, yeah, I literally just went like, boop, 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 with my
I
tail.
definitely, yes, Jake, same thing. I thought they ran into a hag.
No.
I was about to
I am
say
so
that.
on
Everyone
not
in my
on
chat
that.
was shouting hag, and I was like, no.
I was like, no, it's just an old lady making soup for a
Yeah.
young boy. That's
You
nothing
guys are
weird.
so scared of what Matt's gonna do. I get that.
I thought somebody else was a hag earlier on too, so I can't say anything about
Always-
it.
always
Hag is my
hag.
my new go-to. Instead of
Always.
everyone is a dragon or everyone is a vampire, everyone in this campaign's a hag.
Yep. Sundew's on that team with you. He specifically said Team Hag.
No. But yeah, so we learn that the hag was part of a tribe, and they. Oh my God, Furbolg! I'm not Team Hag, I swear.
Yeah. They specifically describe like their big. I love my favorite thing is when Matt describes their big sweet noses, and I just think
got
of, like,
one of those
nose face, and I'm like, oh, it's so sweet, furbolgs. I love them so much.
But yeah, Jess, you wanted to talk about them because there is a
Yeah.
character mentioned.
Oh yeah, well, so basically we got to meet. I think her name was Jumba. She was the healer of the Gitau tribe, clan, and she had the child with her Ombo. And he had been saved, but a lot of the rest of their clan had been killed or captured. And that's when specifically she explained that I think it was Neela was off, off hunting, or like some people were away. Those people got away and were okay. But then the mother Neela of one of the children that were taken, she they couldn't stop her from going to chase after the carts. They couldn't stop her. Like, they were like, it's a bad idea, don't do it. And so she went off. And so I'm just wondering if that's going to be our next guest. And I think it would suit really well to have her, especially if she, like Jumba, is a healer. They could really use that, guys. Please be a healer. Please be a healer. Please. Like,
please. But yes, I'm really hoping that we have a new druidy friend who's very powerful with healing magic.
Please.
And also, like, was there an opportunity, had they done something different during their big combat at the end, that this character was gonna arrive and help or something?
Right.
Because, like, all we know is that she was chasing after them. We don't know anything else past that. Nice. Look, yes. Oh, and one thing I did like was that she had some sort of, like, salve or type thing.
Oh,
that acts
the tea.
Well, she had the tea.
Because, Matt specifically said after their long rest, and they're drinking the tea that they were all healed, and they had advanced perception.
Yes.
Or something like that.
But then she gives them, like, something that they can eat, and it acts as a greater healing potion, but it takes a while for it to take effect.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
I hadn't heard that
Yeah.
part.
It was the ball of herbs or something, and, like, you break it up, because they're like, how do you administer this?
Yeah, and so she's like, you either eat it, or you rub it on the wound, and it'll start closing it up.
Wow.
And so, like, that's real cool that Matt, I don't know if he's homebrewing
Healing
this.
moss.
In the future, guys, just stick it in your chin to begin with, like in your cheek, like a chickmunk, and then when you go in battle, if you start to go down, just like chew.
It's like the opposite of a cyanide pill.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Can they have these in the future ready to go in their, like...
Get Pumat to mass market that, please.
Yeah, please.
Do you know Pumat Soul? Or what about his friend Pumat Soul?
Oh, that was
how
so
about
good.
Pumat
His
Soul?
friend Pumat Soul.
Racist.
Pumat
Not
Soul.
all blogs know each other. That being racist.
I love that, like, Caleb called not out on that and was like, do you know every goblin? Fair point. Like, okay.
So yeah, they get that cool stuff, and they're heading on their way, and they like pass by one group of carts. But they eventually find the group of carts that we're looking for, and
Dun, dun, dun.
so now let's go ahead and get on to it, because Rowan had said it in the chat earlier.
Yeah.
So there is. Go ahead, because you found it.
So Lorenzo, they were like, "There's this big fighter dude," and then they're mid-battle, and holy shit, Cone of Cold comes out. Everyone's like, what is this? So I saw a lot of people automatically jump toward Eldritch Knight.
And I looked at that, and Cone of Cold is a 5th level spell. Eldritch Knight never get 5th level spells. They only get 4th, even at level 20.
So we were poking around at some more theories, and this wonderful little gem that Lorenzo is an Oni popped up. Oh my god! I love it so much! I am so on board this train. So, according to the manual, they have multi-attacks, they use a glaive, and they have chain shape. So the Oni magically polymorphs into a small or medium humanoid, into a small or medium humanoid, into a large giant, or back into its true form.
And
for resistances and stuff.
Yes, we were looking at that. There's no resistances, but the other
There's no resistance, but there is a regeneration. So
even if he was on fire, sorry,
right? So even if he was on fire, the Oni regens like 10 hit points at the start of its turn. So 6 points of fire damage ain't anything. But yes, so the Oni can innately cast spells requiring no material components, such as, at will, darkness and invisibility, and also 1 time a day, charm person, cone of cold, gaseous form, and sleep. This thing's an Oni. He's an Oni.
Also, the other things are they change their shape and their size, appearing as humanoids, so they can pass through towns, pretending to be travelers. In that form, an Oni takes stock of the selection of humanoids in a settlement and devises ways to abduct and devour some of them. Which is what he's doing. So I am all for Lorenzo's an Oni. Also Leather Daddy. I will just kind of accept that one. Now we have more things. So about tieflings that have cold base abilities, apparently. So yeah. So my bullshit theory. Who's it? My bullshit theory senses are tingling about a certain tiefling whose dad we don't know, who has cold base abilities. So Jester is a tiefling who usually has infernal like fire stuff, has cold resistance and cold hellish rebuke. So is that? I'm assuming is that what you're saying? Is that possibly yes. Lorenzo is Jester's dad?
That seems to be what Rowan is. The train that Rowan is following here.
Yes, you got it.
I mean, you said it.
They are classified as large giant, not.
What? Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize that part.
What the Oni is? Yeah, they're part ogre.
They shape change.
Change.
Their initial version.
They're not a fiend or it's giant. Yeah.
They're magical ogres that can change their shape, like size, when they change.
Yeah. So they like shrink down.
I don't know. I think that's. I mean, it's a theory. It's interesting.
I'm here for all those things.
Who's Gofty? I don't think the Cone of Cold came from the Bard. It's possible because the Bard did get the slow effect, and so if it did cast Cone of Cold, it wouldn't have happened until later, and so Matt could have like made it look like it came from Lorenzo, but like he straight up held his hand out and waited for a turn, waited for everybody to get out of the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know.
Yeah, the second he did Matt did he holds up his hand.
And like, he's a caster, he's a caster!
I was like, oh shit, he has magic!
Because like, I mean, if he's not
to an old woman, Jess?
Yeah.
To an old...
I was like, it was late, and I was tired, and I was scared for my babies!
So like, if it wasn't an Oni, then maybe he got it from some sort of item, like the glaive, maybe his cloak could have done it, maybe he had like a ring.
Maybe it's an Oni glaive.
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe he's not an Oni, but the glaive is from it has some of the magic. That's interesting.
He's just super into that lifestyle.
Yeah. He's in that community, and he's like...
No shaming.
No shaming.
No
shaming. No yucking anyone's yums.
No, absolutely not. We will not. We do not.
Or it could also be a warlock. Yeah, Hexblade. I don't know. I really like the Oni idea. I hope like this is the first one that we got like real quick as a community that this is what it is. We figured it out, Matt. Right off the bat though, as soon as they saw that, they should have already like started disengaging, because regardless it's a 5th level spell which you don't get until level 7, so we already know that he's, stronger than you.
And there were people. There were more people.
So let's talk about that real quick. So before this fight, they have their best planning session to date as a team, Vox Machina or the Mighty Nine, because they get like real into it. They're like, all right, we're going to. I thought it was phenomenal that they rode ahead at the middle of the night, pushed themselves, taking the exhaustion point, but just to go around them because they're traveling with carts, so they have to go slower. And then they start devising this plan in the middle of the night to shuffle some trees around, move some bushes, Minecraft the area, kind of terraform their own little hiding spots, and then they kind of keep going through this, and Marisha gets it down to 12 steps. We fell the
12-step program.
Yeah. So the plan was we fell the tree. We send in Keg. Keg distracts. We send in Knot. Knot tries to pick the locks. Tries to pick the locks into the cages. We get the people out. Knot runs. Knot sends a message to Caleb. Caleb does the slow spell on the party. We go in. We kick ass. We win. We're victorious. That's all 12 steps.
And then even after they altered the plan, she was like, it's okay. It's the same way. That's the only important part.
But it was super cool that Matt let them kind of mind palace it out with the actual map. Like, they got to move
that
things
was
around.
Really cool.
They got to, like, use a little wormwood box as a make-believe cart, and, like, actually go through things. Yeah.
They had a plan.
And it was good. It was a good plan.
It was.
And then
the dice, not so much.
It all fell apart. Like, I think it was Rizgafti at the beginning of us talking, was like that natural one at the beginning, trying to find out what happened to their friends, really set the pace for the whole episode.
Yeah, it's the curse.
It is the curse. Everyone for Christmas needs to send them sage.
But
that's all I'm saying.
Jess, you were talking about how, like, you were kind of against the whole plan and wish they had stayed in the middle of the night and done that idea.
Yeah, that was my only thing. When they were doing the plans and they had said the other plan where they're like, maybe let's sneak in and, like, start undoing cages and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, go with that one. Because, like, Keg is the one who knows the most. And Keg kept being, like, really scared. Like, Keg kept being like, we have to kill them all or else. Like, we have to, like... And, like, later on when they start to form the plan, she's like, we're all gonna die. I was like, when your main source of information is saying this, like, maybe, like, I don't know. And the night plan was just, to me, like, it's a better chance of, like, one, maybe two people go in, anything goes wrong, you get them out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot higher chance of seeing what you do. You know what I mean? You just guerrilla warfare when you're not at the peak. You know what I mean? Like, but then when they start coming with the other plan, I was like, okay, well, like, they're, like you said, it was so good. Like, they were planning, I was like, it made me have more confidence in them. And I think they did have a lot of good ideas. But the fact that, like, once again, Keg was all like, we're all gonna die, especially that's when they first thought there was 5 of them, but then there was 7.
Like, already, like, okay, we need to just go to Shady Creek and we'll deal with it there.
And then there's a caster you weren't counting on.
Yeah. Like, oh my gosh. But, like you were saying, the plan, I was so impressed with their planning because they were even like, let's all take out casters first. I was like, this is such a good plan. I was really impressed with them, and that made me, like, get more on board with what they were doing. But I just personally, as a nervous person, I was like, go in the night, do a little attack, get away, do it again.
Well, because, like, and other plans are like, okay, here's a vague idea, but we haven't come up with steps to do this idea, but let's go with it. And then as soon as they start doing things, it's not at all in line with what they had just talked about.
Let's sneak in. I charge in through the roof. What?
Yeah. Yeah. So kudos for the planning session. I'm sorry that it didn't go well. And I guess, are we there? Are we going to talk about it?
No, I don't wanna.
Should we talk about it?
I don't wanna.
But, like, we have to.
I know.
Let me look through my notes, see if there's anything I can prolong it with.
Wait, no, I do have I have a thing I can prolong it with.
Let's hear it.
It was just that, like I was saying, I have a note here about how Keg literally said, the quote is, we're probably gonna die, guys. And so I can't help but feel like, not as metagaming, but before the session, Matt filling in Keg on, Ashly on what Keg would know, was saying, like, these guys are too powered, you know what I mean? They're like, really strong, and I think she played that really out well with, like, how scared she was and stuff like that. But she was still going after them. So what was her plan to do alone then, if she's so convinced that 5 of them are gonna die going up against this group? What was her plan to do alone? As true. One person?
That's true.
Was she planning a nighttime sneak? And then why did she not push that more then? Or was she planning to follow them into town and use her town connections? Or, like, what was her... Because apparently she's been on the road following them for a while. That was said. So, like, what was her plan to do alone if she was so sure that 5 of them together were going to die?
I feel like she was on a suicide mission from the beginning.
Yeah.
That's...
Like, they need to die or I'm gonna die, because whatever happened, whatever she saw wasn't worth, like, dealing with anymore, I guess.
Okay, so the chat came up with something
I
for
saw
us
it.
To, like,
go ahead and take it. I do like before that, the watch before that is Nolly. Can't even remember his name because he died. Molly and y'all's support, not mine. So Molly and Bo have a little contest on, draw a card. Whoever has the lowest has to tell a secret. And apparently Molly pretended to be royalty for 3 weeks as kind of like an initiation test for something.
For the circus group.
I didn't catch that part. So yeah, that was interesting. And then Bo destroyed a marriage for somebody that she didn't like.
Yeah. Yeah, she didn't like his competition. She went in to spy on them and break up their marriage. They're already cheating on each other, so she's just like, here it is. Here's your info.
I want to know if she was cheating with the life. No.
Right.
She was a handyman.
She wasn't cheating before.
I've seen that movie. No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
But yeah, did y'all want to go over Caleb's little...
Caleb, he broke my heart.
Oh, you go ahead. That made me sad. I can't handle that.
My heart
I'm just
so
gonna,
badly.
I'll put this like this so I won't talk over you.
Just him going on, and I think at some point everyone has kind of had a conversation like that. Maybe not to that degree.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
But everyone has had a kind of thing like, you know what? These people, they don't do that and this, that, and talking to yourself and calling yourself stupid and saying, like, you done messed up this whole thing and you should just leave, you should just get out. And then he doesn't. He just sits there. He sits there for 5 minutes and then he sits there for 2 hours and he doesn't move. And it's just like, oh, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Good news. I found another thing that we can buy time with. I forgot that we had some viewer questions things that we got.
Oh, yes. But also, before that, though, going off of this, Liam did confirm on Twitter during his little impromptu Q&A session that he had the other day while flying back to LA, was that Caleb's alignment pre-stream was lawful evil.
Yeah.
And that after he broke, it changed to currently, which is true neutral.
And that is one of the 3 questions that I got. So the first one, kind of not really a question, just a statement. So anyone getting a Negan from The Walking Dead vibe from Lorenzo, or is that just me? Unfortunately, I don't think any of us actually watch The Walking Dead. I just know that he's an asshole character. The second one was not a question, but kind of hoping that the group runs into a villain who has no special abilities, but beats them all with his traps and contraptions. The group will wake up in their lair bound and find that they've been captured because this villain thinks there's too many heroes, kind of like in a Doctor Strange end credit things where one of the sorcerers kind of goes mad.
Spoilers.
And then he introduces himself as Percival Friedrichstein von Musel Kowalski de Rollo IV, and he hates his father. So that could be fun if we get like a villain character that is from the Vox Machina group. That kind of be fun.
It's not necessarily that part that gets it for me. I do like the idea of someone that's entirely non-magical, trap-focused, gizmos and stuff like that, and I do think there's precedent for it in this world, and the idea, the fact that it would be Percy's crazy son would be fun.
And then the good one, so King Sundu's kind of like saying it in the chat, thank you for reminding me that you did ask a question. Do you think that due to the training by Trent, Caleb is more willing to use magic to force answers, truths, and compliance from those he encounters? And does he realize that he's doing it even though that's the thing that broke him in the first place?
Yeah, that was like, when you say that, it gets to me because my first thought is, he wouldn't do that, that's what was done to him. And I was like, oh wait, no, he's fucking done it already. He literally did suggestion on Keg this episode.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a second, like, buddy, you're so against like this shitty thing that happened to you. Do you not see that you're kind of doing it too right now, my dude? Like, I didn't think of it originally. Like, shit.
Yeah.
They're not good people.
He is permanently damaged goods.
That's fair.
Molly did Friends on Not to do the same sort of effect or something.
Molly has
it was Friends or Charm.
Yeah, Molly actually has Charm Person now. I think the first one was.
That's what.
No, I think it was all Charm Person.
But it's like these people have no qualms about messing with each other's brains.
Like, that's what friends do. It's not.
No, not to that degree. Don't.
But that's all the beating around the bush that we can do. We did have Oog. That's kind of on track with.
Yeah.
Guys.
Hey, he's a tea leaf in the wind now.
Oh no!
How long?
I'm just gonna like cover this up.
You're
How
terrible.
long have you been?
Just emo support.
Matt.
You.
I've been told to leave.
Out. Get out.
I'm being fired from this. Okay, goodbye, friends. No. So yeah, Molly. It's such a BS way that he went out to. They're in fight, and he's taking damage from himself, from like AoE effects from, not even from Lorenzo. I don't think he actually got hit, well, other than the Cone of Cold. It just, he blood maledicts to try to like save himself from being hit one last time, and that ends up knocking him out. And then
he only had 4 hit points left.
It's followed by 2 attacks, and that's all it takes when you're unconscious to not live anymore.
To not get up ever again.
Yeah. But he has like this nice cinematic moment of, spitting blood in Lorenzo's face and like not closing his eyes. And then sitting back in his chair like a badass.
Yes! Taliesin was so badass about it. The way he's like, what are your final words? He's like, I just spit in his face. And then, like you said, my eyes, he twists the blade. He's like, my eyes never close. And he just like, Taliesin just sits back, arms folded, so defiant. He's just so amazing and badass. Like, oh my god, he was so good about it. Ugh, so... yes, Taliesin. Thank you for that.
Like, what do you do after that? So they...
Cry.
Yeah, well, they didn't have time. They were in combat still.
Well, I thought you meant us, not
them.
us.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'm unaffected, obviously. The shirt is ironic at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that kind of signals the ending, like, last moments of combat. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, everybody kind of gets their last round.
But Keg is the one who says,
who stops it.
Stop it. Make an example of me instead. Because he was coming after Boo.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing. Like, she warned him, like, he likes to make examples out of people, and he did exactly that. He's like, so I guess an example it is.
Yeah, like...
They do have... Yeah, eye for an eye. They did that. They killed the half-orc, and so he, in turn, killed our tiefling. That was... It was, like, one of the first combats, like, that stopped that way, ever.
Yeah.
Like, they... And it's such, like, a weird... Like, I don't know enough about Lorenzo to, like... Why did he let that slide? Is he just not afraid of anything? He, like, let them all kind of gather together. He called all of his. And it goes to show how scary Lorenzo is to everybody that's on his team if he can kind of will a barbarian out of her rage. Yeah. To, like, listen to instruction. I don't know. So they all come back and, like, they're grouped together, and he puts Keg on her knees and is standing behind her and is, like, about to, like, shove the glaive through, but he, like, I want you to live with what happened today, with the memory. And just kicks her down, and they leave.
Yep.
And it's just, like, so badass and brutal, and, like, this is, like, I have no positive feelings toward Lorenzo. Like, Matt has done it. He's made a villain that we can all hate, and, like, not, like...
Well, no. Even I hate him.
Well, I mean, like...
There you go.
Vecna was likable because he had a sense of humor sometimes. Raishan, everybody kind of wanted to become a good guy because she, like, just wanted to get cured and everything. But, like, this is a villain. This is like a Dolores Umbridge villain where you just hate them.
But really, the only choices Matt kind of had at this point was walk away or TPK
the team.
Oh, I was so scared. After Molly went down, I was actually like, well, they were already in a bad situation. They're now, 6 on 4? Like, it was not, I was like, oh shit, man. Like, they don't have a healer? Like, they're not... I wasn't having good feelings in that moment. I was really curious how that would go, actually, if there was a TPK. But now we don't have to worry about the full TPK.
Yeah.
Just the
tiefling part killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Lorenzo's gonna keep coming back. Like, he's the villain at this point. Like, that's all they really have. And Taliesin, Molly's kind of their, like, Agent Coulson in the Avengers. That's gonna really cement the team together. No. I'm a terrible person. I'm just gonna hide this shirt. But, like,
I was thinking.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was thinking what David said. That just I wanted to point out that over 3 years of this game streaming, 5 total years of the game time. This is the first PC permadeath. This is their first PC permadeath, and this is the first time that, like, I saw it And like, there's been other times where I've been more like I feel like I personally freaked out more. I wasn't freaking out because I was like, this feels very correct. Like, I didn't at any point feel like this is like, of course it sucks, but it felt like this story feels real
like this,
to me.
Yeah, this is how it had to happen.
Yeah, and like, this is the first time where I'm like, well, we don't have a cleric on hand. Even if we did, they're not very high level. Like, they're in the middle of nowhere. They don't have their transportation spells. There were other times later in game in the other ones where there were permadeaths, and I was like, it's okay. They can resolve. There's an easy fix to this. They can do it. This is the first time that there's this permadeath, and I'm like, well, this one is the first I feel like is gonna stick.
Yeah, and like we get
the first time I felt this.
And we get to like see it, so that's kind of fun. It sucks to like have to be the players, but like, so what can they do? They don't have Jester, and even if they did,
Jester, she didn't have the diamonds.
Oh, they didn't have any diamonds?
Did they get the 300 gold
I
diamonds?
thought they at least got some. So even then they... Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that Matt specifically said when they were searching the camp and finding the things, they had left everything. Like, she didn't even have her, like, Jester didn't even have her shield on her. She didn't have her rucksack on her. Did she keep the diamonds in a pocket on her person? Like,
well, that's the question. Like, did she have enough to even cast Revivify? I think is the question.
That's what I couldn't remember if she actually bought. It's been a while, guys. It's been 2 weeks since the last one.
But even then, given how kind of that, like, combat wound down, a minute would have passed, and that's all you have with Revivify. It's like in combat.
It would have been close. It would have been really close. Like, yeah.
That's the shock paddles, the defibrillator. Like, come back to life.
Yeah, it would have been super close. I didn't think they had the diamonds though.
Like, what is the other things are like Molly has died before.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And something brought him back, or maybe we don't know how that happened.
Yeah. I like that, Kate. I don't personally, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me for saying this. I like Molly, the possibility of Molly being dead. I like the possibility of Molly coming back, just not right now. I really like the idea that Taliesin could play a temporary character. Like, I could see Taliesin giving us a really fun temporary character. I have no idea what that would look like, but I feel like he could do something fun. And then I would love for Molly to come back with some really dramatic moment, because it's Taliesin, and you know it would just be so amazing and theatrical.
So you gotta do that. Grandma, just me, Anastasia. Drop the cloak.
New names, new tattoos, all the whole 9 yards. I want it all. That's what I...
Yeah, so one of the other things that we got as far as like viewer stuff was from in terms of Molly, or like referencing
what
Molly's
level is resurrection, or not reincarnation?
That is same as I think it's level 7 caster you have to be. I honestly don't remember. So one of the things, this is from the Big Bad Boogie. The creature known as Molly is an immortal. He's possessed by a soul that is a pre-cataclysm demigod that is somehow, or for some reason, bound to the earth. And when they're brought back, like after being buried, the body heals physically, but the mind and personal details all gone. It has muscle memory that allows him to handle swords, and maybe eventually he'll be able to access all of his past lives' memories and like fulfill whatever purpose it has. So that's like a nice theory. I just like the idea that there is something that would allow Mollymauk to come back to life. Memories or no memories, but like they don't know what it is.
Right. So for them to be able to use Raise Dead, which I think has a week, I didn't have it in front of me. You need a level 9 cleric. Because it's a level 5 spell.
Raise Dead, 10 days.
10 days. So they do have time for that, but it's more diamonds, which they don't have. They are going to a town, which they have very few allies, and it is full of slave traders.
But it's also full of people that can worship other deities.
Yeah.
And Mollymauk has a cloak full of deities, so maybe it's possible they find one.
I just don't see a best route for them right now.
There's really not. And Uncle Luke has another one, so, like, what if they bring him back and they don't bring Molly, but they bring back Lucian?
Ooh.
So that's another, like, interesting level. Yeah. Do they want to bring Molly back? Because they're not going to know who they get.
Do you have the Lingering Soul stuff? I don't have it in front of me.
Is that Taldore? Where's Lingering Soul?
I don't have Taldore nearby.
Well, I'm asking, is that a Taldore thing? I don't remember.
I don't know. Chat was just asking.
Lingering Soul.
I didn't remember it was a Blood Hunter or if it's...
Oh, well, that was another thing. So the Blood Hunter, he is Ghost Hunter. And their whole thing is about that line between life and death and, like, how to get to that. So it's possible that he's in some sort of, like, limbo right now. Lingering Soul's optional class.
Yes.
DM skills. That's that thing. Yeah, that Matt made. I have that.
Yes, the thing he posted.
Distract the chat while I find it.
What do you want to know about it's an optional class, death alternative, 5th edition, mortality, all who breathe. I mean, that's all flavor. Fixed number. Nope, these are all just updates. I don't know. It's a lot of stuff. I don't know which thing to say.
It's an optional class or death alternative that Matt came up with.
I have found it. You gain stuff. Taking over a dead character. Okay, so it's a soul that can possess a character.
Okay.
If a deceased character returns as a Lingering Soul, they lose all previous class levels and abilities, instead returning with a number of levels in Lingering Soul equal to 1 less than their previous character. They retain any languages, as well as racial benefits and abilities, but lose previous skills, proficiency, saving throws, feats, ability scores, blah da 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 da. At first level, you select an object or creature of your choice to bind to indefinitely. Ooh.
So Matt has something already up his sleeve that if Taliesin wanted to play with, it's possible.
Yeah, holy shit. I've
Which we
never
know Taliesin likes doing that kind of stuff. Taliesin is that one who wants to try out the experimental and try things he's never done before.
So is it kind of like, what's that DC superhero Devil, Red Devil? There's a character who's just a ghost, and only, like, certain people can see him, but his whole thing is, like, possessing people, because he has unfinished business and whatnot.
So, yeah, it's
Deadman,
somewhat
yes.
Revenant-y, but not quite.
Yeah, so, like, I don't know, that's fun. I like that.
Good catch, chat.
Who is that? Axlobo?
There's quite a few people were saying it.
Oh, that's the first one. Popel. I know how words work.
All those pupils!
Yay!
Yeah, Molly was originally made in case Percy didn't come back.
So, in theory, you're saying, like, the next character would be... What? Do you think Taliesin would have a backup character ready to go?
Well, I do know Matt had said, I forget where it was, but he, like, said that he had talked to everybody when they were starting this new campaign that they should have a backup character because their low-level character death is a real thing, and they might not be able to come back. So these are all stories that you're making that we might not get to explore because you could die. So, like, they went into this game knowing that was a possibility. This could be the end of Molly.
I like the idea of us having a permadeath. I am sad about the idea of us not getting to have more Molly backstory, which I think is a lot of people like. We didn't get. I totally get that feel, like where you're like, oh, we barely got to know them, we barely scratched the surface. I want to know more about that person. In theory, we could still get more Molly story outside of Molly, and I hope that if there is a permadeath, we do get that because I still. Like, just because Molly goes down doesn't mean, like, there's still legend and lore. There's still, like,
Well, and, like, the other thing we haven't factored in is how is Yasha if they get her back, how is she gonna, like, take any of this? Because we still don't have confirmation if within the, like, veil of whatever illusion is making the cages look like normal trade goods. We don't know if you could see out of them. Kind of like how, any other illusion magic works. If you're inside of the illusion, you can see out of it. You just can't see into it, like one-way glass.
So did they see it? Did Yasha and Ford and Jester see what was happening to their friends and were literally unable to do a damn thing about it?
That would be the absolute worst thing.
Isn't that
because,
horrible?
like, not only did they lose, but, like, they lost the battle. Like, they have to now watch their party, like, sink into the distance.
Yeah.
That should fuck someone up.
Y'all.
Oh my god.
For real.
So
okay, so we did get...
They did see? Yeah, go ahead,
I hope they did
question.
see. I kind of do.
I do too.
Like, that would be such...
I'm just that evil kind of person, though.
Well, let's see, be even more evil. Let's go with Rizgafti in the chat. If you could keep Molly but had to sacrifice a different member of the 9, who would you choose?
Ooh, I don't know.
I wouldn't. I feel like Molly is rather perfect for the like. I don't mean to be horrible. Like, obviously, I want none of them to go, but I can't see. Like, I feel like we got some good stuff with Molly. I feel like Molly got to do a little bit of, Molly talked about how every little bit of change they've done so far, he's seen and felt and been happy with. And as much as I'd love to see that character do more, as much as I'd love to see that character find out their backstory, because I love the idea of, like, I said from one of the very first episodes, I hope this is an amnesia character, and it was, and I would love to explore that more, but I could see Molly being the first to go. I don't think I would trade, like, I don't know.
Well, and on that train of thought, someone in chat, I think I just lost, let me see, Trisale, says, I wonder how much Taliesin is even attached to Molly, given that he doesn't really know 95% of his backstory. So it could be Taliesin is like, okay, like, I'm fine with this character dying, because now I actually get to have an active role in my backstory, because I actually know it. Still with the possibility of bringing Molly back sometime down the road.
Would you guys change it up? If you guys had that power, would you change it up?
No.
Max?
I'll say it. I'm 100% okay if Caleb dies. So I would totally switch that. Just because I think it would be more fun to see how Sam as not reacts, because, like, that's her boy. So, like, she would definitely go full goblin, lose humanity again. As far as the story goes, having, like, with Laura, Travis, and Ashly being out, we just have these other 4 to keep the story going along. Molly getting killed doesn't really give us too much, like, in-game drama, but if one of the, like, other twosomes lost one of theirs, and, like, that person had to keep playing, then we're gonna get, like, more drama from it, and that's what I'm all about.
Yeah. No, I get it. I know what you mean there. I totally get that. Like,
how many dead Mollys do you think they're gonna see at Comic-Con?
So many.
Oh, no!
That's fun. I like.
No!
What is it? There was, like, a cosplay group or people that would dress up as Bruce Wayne's parents, and anytime they see Batman cosplayer, they would go and, like, fall dead in front of them. If all of the Molly cosplayers just, like, saw Taliesin and then to drop down, that would be a hoot.
God.
Well, someone was Juniper, the one that was Scanlan's mom, and had all the arrows sticking out of her.
Or somebody needs to, like, quickly whip up a Lorenzo cosplay, because that would be
just
fun
chase all
at any convention. Just chase all of the Mollys. Yeah, Molly wasn't really emotionally connected with anybody. I agree with that. Taliesin had Molly ready to go for mid-campaign 1. I don't know if he's attached. He just had the idea for such a long time.
I think it's hard not to become attached to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Like, it's always going to happen. You're going to become attached to a character in a way. It really depends on the depth. And Taliesin has been playing D&D for a very long time.
Yeah, all RPGs.
Yeah, he's one of those extremely not adept, but he's one of the people who has a background in this. He wasn't coming to Liam's birthday game completely unaware of what these games were like.
Yeah, and I will say with Molly, it was more of Taliesin himself as a character.
And that I've had that feeling about all of them in general.
Exactly. This one is so much fun because, like, they know the game, so they made, like, oh, what if I actually was in D&D and could be myself, and I have to be, like, a serious character? Because, like, everybody, their first character, you, like, try to make somebody serious.
Someone who you want to be versus what you see in yourself.
And then, like, you learn the game, you're like, okay, this is fun. I want to have fun with it.
So I'm seeing a lot more of themselves in these characters this campaign. But as I was saying, Taliesin, I think of all of the players of the team, he's going to be the one who's a little bit more equipped with losing a PC because he's had more experience with it. It's still going to suck.
Yeah.
But
true. So I don't know how to do like quick polls in the chat, but will Mollymauk come back?
Press 1.
Yeah. Yes or no? Yay or nay?
Will he, or we're asking will?
Will. And while they're answering that, what do we think? What do we think a backup character could be? Do you think he's gonna like?
Paladin.
I was gonna say, do you think he's gonna do the fill-in thing
really?
where he like, okay, we have a need for a healer, so I'll make a healer.
Yes.
Because he did. Wasn't he originally a paladin? He was originally a dragonborn paladin when they first played. A dragonborn paladin. At
so
the
he could
birthday
go for
party.
something like that.
That could be a nice callback.
Yeah.
Seeing lots of no's, he's not coming back.
Wow.
Oh. Yeah. Yes, he's coming back, guys, or no, he's not. What are you guys saying? So yeah, it's almost all no's that I've seen.
Option
so
3.
Except for option 3.
You're in
are
denial.
You just in denial?
No,
Nice.
you have to go through those 5 steps of grief so quick.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
You get to acceptance. Join us here. I will support you with my terrible personness. Yeah, I don't.
More paladin or other paladin. I definitely see him doing another like.
PC. We got one. He's coming back, but not as a PC.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so the character Mollymauk will come back, but see, I like that idea. Like he comes back, but it's actually Lucian, so they like find Lucian with the gentleman again.
I don't like the idea of him coming back as one of his previous selves. I think if he comes back, it'll be as a new self. Do you know what I mean? Like I think it'll be a new incarnation. And maybe that's just me. Like, I think, like...
It makes sense with the theme. Like, he dies, forgets who he is, comes back, dies, forgets who he is, comes back. So we're on, third.
Sonic Bug said, that body ain't staying in the ground.
Especially if, now that the tabaxi that works for the gentleman who knew Lucian before can probably track him, maybe she'll want to, like, do something and, like, try to bring Lucian back. I don't know.
Yeah, there's so many possibilities.
So many. As far as race, though, I feel like he would want to keep testing out Blood Hunter.
Oh,
because
really?
It's a fun,
for class?
Yeah, because it is a fun class.
It is a fun class, but maybe Matt's cooking something else up behind the scenes.
That's true. I definitely feel like he would go not human again. I definitely feel like he would go a little more of an exotic race again.
I would totally dig if you wanted Tortle.
Tortle!
That would be fun. Or there's a lot of Furbolg. We still haven't seen any Aarakocra in Matt's world.
Aarakocra, yeah.
We've only seen the one Tabaxi, so that's a possibility.
No one has played a halfling as a major PC.
That's true. So halfling. We haven't seen any full elves.
No.
Furbolg would be great.
He's coming back as Pumat.
Pumat number 5.
As the evil Pumat!
One of
Pumat Nox.
One of the simulacrums goes rogue and just... She's like, I'm going with them. I'm leaving the shop. Goodbye.
I like that. Sunday with Genasi. If he was a Genasi, what element do you guys see?
What element?
Well, water, fire.
Genasi,
yeah, like with Genasi.
I don't know.
I don't know, because, like, Taliesin can play anything.
Yeah, I know. Taliesin is very...
And there's so much stuff that
Air would be
still churning out.
I don't think he'd come back.
All the stuff that just came out with, like, the Eldrin and stuff, like, that'd be fun to play with, too.
I forgot about that.
As a full elf.
An Eldrin, yeah, actually, that's a good one. But yeah, we've got Earth Genasi, Pali, Air. I could see Air. I see, like you said, Taliesin could do anything. I could see him being, like, a spicy fire. I could see him being...
Or, like, an airhead.
Airhead, yes!
He's coming back as Silas Briarwood.
Oh, no. I've had a change of heart.
Hi, I am here to help
you. Or Gith Yankee. Oh, I'll be so down for that. Or Gith Zerai. Whichever one. Take your pick.
Yes.
Or Or as some sort of like Warforged golem type thing, because
yes,
maybe he could like possess a golem with this lingering soul thing.
Yes,
that could be fun.
We're gonna get
like I don't know why the only movie I can think of is that Michael Keaton the Snowman movie where the dad comes back as a snowman.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of with him possessing a... Okay. Well, I think...
7.9.
Yeah.
But I think that kind of wraps it up.
Oh, yeah. It
was
a hard episode. It was a hard episode,
I mean,
guys.
I obviously had a little bit of fun. But I'm also
hard doesn't mean not fun.
But yeah, so where can people find us on the internet? Us as a group, we're on Critical Reroll at Twitter. We have .com, which will take you to just kind of a landing page for where all of our podcasts are.
Because you can have them in all the podcast places,
guys.
Yeah,
iTunes, Podbay, Google Play, Stitcher, all those.
And hey, if you like us, give us a nice rating. You know, we never call that out. I'm gonna try and say it. Let's, be nice. We'll thank you for it, and make sure you're sending in questions. We have that new form now. It's a Google Doc, so you don't have to spoil in Twitter or anything like that. You can use the Google Doc and write us secret, saucy, private questions, guys, and we'll call you out and thank you for those too.
Yeah. Other than that, me personally, you can find me at Matt_Abernathy on Twitter. What about you guys?
I am at go_JG in most places on Twitter and on Twitch, and I think anywhere I want you to find me.
And I'm Cate, and I am at CMonster, CEE Monster, not C as in ocean, C as in the letter. So yeah.
Well, cool. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone, for hanging out, for the questions, and hanging out with us. We had a lot of people in chat.
Yeah,
a lot of people interacting in chat, which was awesome.
Sorry if you asked a question and we missed it. It was kind of going back faster than I can read with my dyslexic vision. But we will be back as long as there's more Critical Role. There'll be us.
Yeah.
So everybody say bye.
Bye, friends. Thank you for coming.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening.